This episode is going to be about, I don't know. Now I have the 90mm on, which is quite wide. In 4x5 terms, it's about 24 or 28 millimeters on a full frame 35mm camera. So this is quite wide, and now I got into trouble with, I got too much foreground in my frame, and now I get to use one of the benefits of the large format camera is that you can manipulate the back standard and the front standard. You can actually move the frame without moving the camera. So the lenses have a wider footprint than the ground glass and the film itself. So what I can do now when I have too much foreground but I'm still level, I can unscrew these hinges on the front standard and I can just simply lift it up. And that way I'm still have a level horizon, but now I changed the composition without changing the angle of the camera or the focus. So if I set the focus before, it will still remain focus. And now I put in the film holder for the 4x5 film. In these film holders I have Kodak Portra 400, I think. I'm pretty sure. So when I light meter now, I have to change my ISO setting to 400. So what I do is I know pretty much where my frame is. So I look around to see which part of my frame is going to be in shadows. Especially with the Portra films, they have extremely good highlight recovery, so you just basically meter for the shadows and you don't care about the highlights. F22 at 1/4 of a second, and then what I can do here is I can freely move up and down the timer and it will change the aperture. So for instance, if I want shallow depth of field, I just press the up button and it goes up f11, f8, which is pretty shallow on a large format camera. And then I'm up to a 30th of a second. So if I go down to where I want to be because I'm more concerned about the f-stop than the shutter speed. So I at least want f32, maybe f45, which is either half a second or a second. And we're standing on moss. So I guess I'll choose the half a second version of exposure. The film holder here has 2 sheets of film. The side that's facing the lens is the first sheet. So you have to pull out the dark slide in order to expose it to whatever you want the camera to capture. So you pull out the dark slide, and now this setup is ready to take an image. And the dark slides are marked with 1 white and 1 black side, and you can choose whatever you want to keep track of what you're doing, but I always leave it at the white to the front. That's when it's unexposed, and then after I expose it, I turn it so that the black is facing out. So now everything is set up. F32, half a second. So let's take the shot. So then we put the black side of the dark slide back in, and we twist this little thing to keep it from going out. So now we can remove the back itself, and when I want to take the second shot, I just turn this around and repeat the same process again. As you can see here, the shots didn't turn out. I have some sort of issue with my film holder, I think, or the way I'm loading the film. I've been doing some testing with some black and white that I've developed at home, and so far I've tested 4 out of 5 holders without any issues. So it looks like it's my loading technique that's the problem. But you can see the light leak from the left side, and it also looks like the film has been curled inside the film holder. If you look at the left frame, you see the line of where the film has been curving, and you can also see the brown line that's going across the film. I don't know what that is. That actually popped up in several frames from this shoot, and I don't know what that comes from. So if any of you have seen this before and knows what it is, please tell me in the comments below, because even the films or the sheets without light leaks, some of them had that brown diagonal line. Alright, that's it for today. Thank you, and see you next time.